This is Join Joel. If you're looking for polished business stories, you're in the wrong place.
Fantastic.
So that's worked out all right.
There is a minute. Don't tell Martin that, because
No, I spoke to him. It was fine. It was like, are you ready, George?
Already.
Cool. All right, cool. If you're going, so you go. So that's how we did the. The civics have worked out all right. In that sense, it worked out okay. But yeah, I think for the gyratory system with the council, I don't know what they're going to do, because they got a decent pot of funding to actually do it.
Yeah.
They can't undo it, from what I understand, because if they undo it, then they've not spent funding, they've got to give the money back, which they clearly can't afford to do. It's really frustrating, because actually, and I kind of, do I feel for the consultants? No, I'm not for the consultant. Consultants are difficult, not bad to the best of times. But yeah, I think that I just alienate every consultant and just alienate all of them. It's just got all the consultants, But no, I think that the challenge with that one is that it actually works. It makes sense. The principle of it makes sense. If it was just 2 lanes like it used to be by the railway station, then you'd be able to get cars coming through. You'd be able to double up the level of traffic. Yeah. A lot of the traffic turns right anyway. Yeah. So you don't even need to separate left to go straight on and right to turn right. People naturally do that. Yeah. Yeah. And suddenly it will just flow. And when I look at it, I see, and it just bottlenecks back because you can't get through. And you just see this, and what's so frustrating is you see this empty cycle lane all the way through. Yeah. No one ever cycles it. I swear cyclists are not cycling on there. So the pavement.
The pavement's so wide. I've got the pavement wide. I've got the cyclists.
Massive. And then the cycle lane itself is big enough for a fire engine to get through. So it's just one of those things. And every time I see the consultant, I think I said this to Rob the other day when we were recording. But just the hole in the wall that they want to put through to go through by the castle, which makes absolute sense. It's a great idea. They literally need to put a hole in the wall, so take out a little bit of wall. They need to put a path in then through the grass, just some form of concrete or paved path through to their concreted area. 100 grand. 100 grand. And I was like, when they told me that, I was like, I'm sorry, you make it out of gold? Like, are you literally paving gold? Yeah. And I was like, I think we could do that for 12. I was like, literally, I think we could do this for 12 grand. And they was like, oh no, it's not. And I couldn't believe it. And I think just with the council, it just goes up and up and up and up and up the cost.
It's a challenge. Well, it's one of those. I think just the planning for me. It's like, if you want to do something, I'm a solutions guy. It's like, we'll solve it. Whereas when you go through the bureaucracy, you feel like it's like you can be doing it for 12 months. I mean, this is like the gyratory. It was planned about 5-10 years ago. Yeah, I agree. And then it came to fruition. You think, so you're telling me you've been sitting on this file for 5 years, going, this is a great idea. Can no one counter this before you start putting sticks in the ground? Do you know what I mean? I mean, that's what I could never understand. It was like, okay. And then, like you say, can't undo it, have to give the money back. I was like, okay. And
then councils change, and the politicians change, and then they always do the same thing, which I'm going to alienate all the MPs now. Right, but we've done the consultants, that would do everything. They blame each other. So it was the previous council. We had nothing to do with that. We've inherited it, and we don't have a choice. I was like, I don't tend to see that in private companies as much. If a new CEO takes over, they don't tend to go, oh, well, the last CEO really screwed this up. No. They just get on to fix it. Yeah.
Get on with it. I mean, this is it. I mean, I always think of COVID with that. The one time everyone needed to band together to beat a virus, and the 2 governments were just complaining about who was doing what. Like, do you want to just shut up for a minute and actually help us? You know what I mean? That's what I never understand with it. But as you say, it's all about the votes. It's all about who I can blame to get things like that. I mean, it's like we're dealing with that new YouTube ban that's going to come in, for under 16s proposed.
Are they going to do that with YouTube as well? Because they're doing it with socials.
Well, I think YouTube, I thought it was kind of blanket spread. So, but again, because they've come out as this PR stunt of we're going to do this. But like you said, governments will change, things will come round, and by the time
the MP definitely may change.
That's the people making decisions are going to be around. But
that's highly likely.
It's just decisions being made without any sort of real research. So who's done the research on that, and how are you going to marshal it? How are you going to actually stop under 16s looking at this stuff? Because as a parent, if my 9-year-old's acting up a little bit, so look, here you go, watch a bit of that. Well, who's going to stop my phone? Because I'll just give it to you. So
because how old are your kids now?
So mine are 9 and 12. So they're
so 12 is that?
Yeah. Oh, and she loves it, and we monitor it and all the rest of it. But you think, and I know they're sort of making this sort of law, but they're putting it all on the parents. You go, well, good luck to that then. Do you know?
When they put it on the because the way understood they were going to do socials, so they'll do the meta platforms, Facebook, Instagram, X will be on there, TikTok will be on there, Snapchat will be on there. There'll be some others that I'm not down with the kids enough, as Jordan always tells me, that I don't get. There'll be something. So
Can't keep up.
I didn't realise that. I didn't know if they were going to do YouTube. I assumed they weren't, and they said they weren't going to do WhatsApp. But they didn't put it on the social media companies to enforce it.
I think this is it. I mean, I think again, it's probably fleshing out the detail. And don't get me wrong, I might be wrong, because obviously what we do, it was like very much like YouTube. What do you mean YouTube? We do it, right? Don't touch YouTube. But I think, like you said, I think it's just fleshing it out. But how they marshal it, how they're going to do it. Again, it's been made by a bloke that, no disrespect to the bloke, but he doesn't know what he's talking about. And where are you getting information from? Because it's like, everyone goes, what? It's like, I know you're under pressure at the moment, but don't come out with something so big as that and go, right, how are you going to change the face of social media? The biggest thing in front of you right now, and you're taking it on. Wow. Good luck.
Because Australia have done it. Or in the doing it. So, and my daughter, who's 15, so when I said to her, "Oh, this looks like it may happen," what? And she uses Instagram a fair bit for posting. She uses TikTok a lot for scrolling. A little bit of Snapchat, but not masses. So she's 15. And again, we keep an eye on it. She's pretty switched on. In fairness, she's that child. She never has a phone with her, and if she does, it's flat.
Really?
Well, she turns up. People are like, "What do you mean you haven't got your phone?" She, "I just didn't bring it with me."
Really? Yeah. That's like my son. He's a younger, but yeah. I mean, it depends on who they want, isn't it? Like when they want to use it and what, isn't it?
Yeah, and I said to her that it looks like they're going to do it. Oh God! I said, "Yeah, they're going to do it next spring." She said, "Oh, I've just turned 16."
Yeah. So she's like, "Oh, brilliant."
Cool. So
yeah. Well, my 9-year-old was like, "That gives me a year. Start downloading now." It's like, right, okay. She was going to get bank and stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, that's actually fine. Whereas my daughter's like, "Oh, I'll start reading again." Oh my God! It's like that music starts to play, and the grass grows, and all that. Oh, I find that play hopscotch again. It's like no, data. Oh God, right.
I'm kind of torn as to whether it's a good idea or not. It's different for us because our kids are homeschooled, so they're actually sheltered quite a lot from various things that their other children are. So that's always a bit of a benefit. But is it a good idea? I don't know. I guess it's a marketeer's nightmare to a degree from a product perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's going to have an impact for sure.
Yeah.
If it keeps kids safe, it's probably a smart thing to do. But yeah, enforcing it, I guess they just have to do the same things they do with 13-year-olds. How do they enforce it with 13-year-olds? They've just got to extend it to 16-year-olds. But yeah, you're right. Parents will just go, "There's my phone."
I can't be bothered with this, and that's what I think they're saying. They're basically going to fall on the parents. It's going to be like, you marshal it. So if anything does happen, it's on the responsibility of the parents. Now, don't be wrong. I'm a big believer. Yeah, it's down to the parents. You raise your children, you take responsibility. But I'm always like, you're putting something else on me now. Do you know what I mean? I mean, parental locks are good enough. Like, what? Now I've got to worry about and get on. What happens if he gets on by himself and I don't know about it? Please knock him in my door. You know what I mean? So I just don't want to deal with that. Do you know what I mean? And I don't. Yeah, like I say, there's a way of keeping safe, and it is keeping children safe. So I think the premise is absolutely right. But it's just, again, it's being made by people that aren't, I don't think, thinking it fully through. And I just don't think they're actually putting a plan in place where everyone can get on board and go, I can see what you're doing there, and I can get on board with that. First thing they said was, "What the hell are you doing?" What the hell are you doing now? And it was so out of left field as well. It was like, all right, you're battling all this stuff politically. Oh, hold on, you're going to do something on social media. Where did that come from? Do you know what I mean?
It's the smoke mirrors. We saw that with the VAT, so the 5% VAT they're putting in for the summer. And everyone in Trashman said, this is great. And I was sort of looking again, it's going to be interesting on how we're going to manage it. It's been okay. We'll figure it out. We'll get there. But I was like, hold on, everyone's now concentrating on this and focusing on this and talking about this. I was like, everyone seems to have forgotten about this election has just happened, about how smash Labour got, about how the party's under pressure, everyone's resigning, the PM's under massive pressure. It's like, oh, there's VAT reduction.
Oh, yes,
like,
I'll give you a bit.
Let's look at that. So, yeah. So
I love that as you get older. I always say to people, like, you talk about how miserable old blokes as you get older. It's not, we've become realists. It's the thing, if you learn more and you go, actually, it is all bullshit, and actually I'm going to deal with this. But you just come across as this miserable bloke, because all the younger people go, come on, change, come on, we're all adapting. Kids, seriously, no, don't.
Jordan's like that, aspirations. I just haven't had that heart to break to me.
It's like, just don't try. You know what I mean?
We did a video a little while ago about whether you should rent or buy, and I could see his face going, oh no, everything I've been told is a lie.
It's like, don't believe what you hear, kids. Don't believe what you hear.
Don't listen to me, Jordan.
It's all a lie. Don't grow up. Don't grow up. But it's right. I mean, like I said, we all have to just adapt and move around. I get that, but it's just. Yeah, like you say, as you get older, you like to think, well, I've experienced a little bit. I'm nowhere near an expert. But you think, God, just keep it simple, please. Stop complicating it all the time. It's like, for what benefit? And it only benefits the few. And not going to go into that sort of element, but you just think, God, if you can keep it simple, it would work. It did work.
Yeah.
So why are you dabbling with it? Leave it alone. Do you know what I mean? But
I hear that.
we all deflect and bend.
How will the social world, how will that affect you guys? Will that affect your clients more than you guys?
Yeah, I think it's that. I think, like I say, we're seeing a lot more of the old strategy stuff coming through. And like you say, that was just a big hammer blow, especially for organisations that are, advertising to young children, toys or services, things like that.
You do a lot in property market, though, don't you?
We do. But that's taking a hit. I mean, this whole flipping, again, it's another one. Again, because there's this war going on hundreds of thousands, whatever, miles away down in the Straits of Hormuz. And it's affecting all our interest rates. And it's like, well done, we're not even involved. So but we are. And I've always hated that. It's like the actions of a few onto the great.
The knock-on effect.
It's mental.
Absolutely nuts.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to someone today, fuel prices. They closed the straits, fuel prices within 24 hours rocketed. Yeah. They've now opened the straits, but it's going to take 4 months to come back down.
Yeah.
What?
That's what yesterday they said.
Do you know what I mean? And then they put out in the press that we're all running out of jet fuel. Yeah. Really? It's like, what's going on? And I just think, again, it's about the messaging you hear and what people say. It's like, you've got to just sort of go, right, I've heard it, but let me just digest that, because I don't think it's all as bad as you think it is, or at least it's a deflection away. Like you said before, let's forget the election. Is 5% VAT? Well, let's focus on this a little bit, and we might sort that out. And yeah, as I say, the older I get, the more you hear, the more you see. You start making it going, yeah, it's never going to get any better, is it? But yeah, because
you're right. Because I looked at the war, and I was like, the oil prices went up because we have oil at home. So suddenly it was just
you're a rocket.
Great. And we'd actually just flown back from the UAE 3 days before it started. So it's like, well, that was kind of fortunate as well. We actually got back in time. Yeah. But and now, like you say, it stops, and Trump signed this deal, and it's going to take how many months for everything to go. And actually, we haven't even run out, or they're sort of getting concerned as the reserves. Yeah. And you sort of go, is there somebody there is making so much money, and that price will never go back down to what we saw it at previously. It will come back down a bit, but it's just somebody is going to be making so much money. That's really benefited somebody somewhere, and that bit of you that's had, I guess, the experience in life suddenly goes, hold on a second. Somebody's profited really well out of this. Lots of people have suffered.
We all deal with the crisis and go, oh my God. Someone's in the back going, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. Thank God this happened. Yeah. You think, God, and don't be wrong, I'm probably a bit jealous if I'm honest with you, because you want to, I wish I knew that bloke. You know what I mean? Like,
I wish I'd invested in it.
You know what I mean? Like, if I'd only known SpaceX had gone big, Jesus, So we all want the crystal ball effect. But it's that whole, it's like, why do we all have to suffer for almost a group of people going, we're just going to change this for a bit? So don't change that. Don't do that. Just leave that alone. You can have something else, but don't do that. But like you say, the older I get, I just keep reminding, I'm just a pawn on a chessboard. I'm not the king, the queen, I'm not the bishop of the thing. I'm just a pawn, and I'll move myself around, stay out of trouble. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully I'll make it to the other end. You know what I mean? But it's sad in a way, because again, as parents, we look at it and go, what have the kids got to do with that? I mean, AI and all this sort of stuff coming out, you think, what jobs are our kids going to have? And what are they really going to be doing? Because all I hear about is the jobs that are going to be gone by the time they're sort of age. So you think, right, do you push them down AI coding? Do you push them into sort of software development, all that sort of stuff? Or do you say, do you know what, just follow your own path and you'll find a way? Because it'll just naturally lead them that way. But it's a challenging time. I think education is another challenging time. We work with a lot like you do with schools and colleges. Yeah. And I think they're doing a great job, but I think they're really up against it, because things like the curriculum haven't changed for 40 years. You're still teaching them stuff that I was learning at school, but where's the relevance? And I just think the relevance is lost.
And they're massively under-resourced. I take my hat off to teachers, because they're massively under-resourced, just like every other sort of government department. So, look at the police force, look at fire, look at the NHS, hugely under-resourced. They haven't got enough people. Yeah. And that expectation, I always look at it with teachers, because I don't think there should be homework. I had this debate. / argument with when one of my children did go to school for a short period of time, and she wasn't doing her homework, and they were pulling us out. So, well, I'm not going to get to her homework, because her home time isn't education time; it's her time to do what she's doing. She does her education when she's at school. And they're like, well, yeah, but I was like, I'm not going to force her to do it. I said, but I think the same thing for teachers. I don't think teachers should have to go home and mark homework or set lesson plans. They should have time allocated within their day. I was at cricket last night with my son, and there's a teacher whose son plays, and he's sat there and he's marking. And he's got all this paperwork out and he's marking. I'm just like, Dude, this is nuts. You should have time allocated in your day. If I did that with my staff, if I sent them home at the end of the day, I went, great news, guys.
Yeah.
Well done today. By the way,
Yeah.
I need you to do this by tomorrow.
Yeah.
They'd be like, no.
What are you talking about? Yeah.
And they get paid.
Yeah,
Like, kids
exactly.
basically get paid.
Yeah.
Just go grab a cup of tea.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
How many problems? Sorry.
So you've got to drink it if it comes through.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She was like, would you want tea, coffee? I was like, yeah, just shout you want that was me. But
No, I appreciate it.
sorry, Jordan, he'll tell me off. I don't come sit back down. I'll get shot.
You should go. We just AI you in. You see, you've done your.
He does.
We just avatar you back in.
How is AI gonna? I think it's gonna have a massive impact on you guys.
It's massive. Yeah, I mean it is. I mean it's still finding its feet really.
Yeah,
It's the thing we're seeing is everyone's having a go at it.
Yeah.
And the few are getting good at it. Everyone will sort of jump on that bandwagon. I always related to like when phones started having cameras in them.
Yeah.
And all the photographers went, "Oh my God, we're all going to go out of business." It didn't.
Yeah.
It just found its place, and I think that's what AI is going to do. It is bigger than phones and cameras, absolutely, and I do think that it's going to have a massive effect across the whole, as we already see. But it'll just find its place. I think the main thing we're seeing is the authenticity side of things. You know what I mean? Because it's all fine with a bit of fun while you stick draw me, animate me a cat on the moon, blah blah blah. But when it's animating you saying something, it becomes personal, and it's that. The software is scary in the sense of it can just avatar you.
Oh, there's some amazing quality that comes out with actors like together. You're like, is this real? Is this AI? You're just sort of trying to figure out.
Yeah, it's when you see movie awards nights and they're AI generated films. You're like, well, where's the skills in prompting? It's not in that. Now you can say the creativity is still there, which is absolutely brilliant. But for me, it's not an art anymore. It's different. It's you're letting something else take control, and I think that's where you lose that creativity, you lose that artistic nature. But it's here, and like I say, and I do agree that it has got a place. I think it's a fantastic tool. We use it every day. I use it for personal stuff, admin stuff.
How do you guys float it into your business? Where are you using it?
So we're using it more we use it in sort of our scheduling. We use it definitely for scheduling. We do use it for researching. We use it for script writing, start a script. And even now it's creeping into editing. It'll allow us to take 4 hours of footage and within a few minutes then cut it up into where we think into what we think we need. But the good thing for us is it's not there yet in the sense that the quality's not there. We don't believe anyway, and we're still not having that hands-on approach. But that is making us think more strategic, as I say before, because the content can be produced so quick. But it's like, well, how much content do you need? Where are you going to put it? Is it any good? How are you evaluating it? But that seems to be the bigger ask of our clients is more, what's it going to do for me? Not what are you going to make me? So, and obviously people are making stuff on their phones more. They've got apps and all kinds of things. So it's definitely affecting us. But we're finding that the trust is the big one, and there will always be, or I believe anyway, that people buy from people.
Yeah.
It's about trust. It's about having that relationship with someone that goes, do you know what? I can do this for you. I can do that for you. Don't worry about it. I'll sort it. And they go, look, we trust you. We know what you need. This is what we're going to do. And that only comes from experience. So when you get a lot of younger people coming through that are absolute tech whizzes, do you want to be one? It's about trying to look at, well, where does that expertise and knowledge then harness someone that maybe has been around the block a bit and just sort of knows a little bit about how that works. But again, it's so fast.
Yeah,
it
is. Yeah.
And the data's changing all the time. One day I'll tell someone this is what you need to do, focus on this, and within 24 hours, it actually no shift away back over here. So
yeah, and I think that when we were pretty sophisticated, I think with our audience development in the Meta platforms, certainly years ago. So we were seeing that was almost changing, not quite on a daily basis, but it was changing very, very quickly. The algorithms changing, the way it operated, how it was showing content, where it was showing content, who was showing it, was just so fast moving.
Yeah.
I'm talking sort of 7-8 years ago.
Yeah.
So we were kind of used to that. But yeah, AI just moves so fast.
Well, I always remember with the iPhone when it came out and got Siri. It was Siri was AI because you talked to it and talked it back. It was very basic. Whereas now it's a part of your home, you know. And again, like, you know, my son's got one of these robot dogs with ChatGPT in it, so he'll talk to it. He'll do his homework. My son doesn't do homework; the robot does.
Oh,
but
that's brilliant!
It's insane.
I love that.
But it's scary because, I mean, it's got a camera on it, so we taped over the camera because I thought, I don't like that. I don't like that it's because it's walking around my house. It talks about, it's going to be a security camera. Yeah, but it can also be a window into my house. So there's those elements to it. And I think, going back to like the authenticity side of things, it's all fine, have a bit of fun, and you make a politician say something funny, but they're going to start thinking, well, when it comes to election time, what am I believing? Yeah. And there are a few documentaries out there now about, this has been going on for years. It's military level. So, elections have been enhanced or, led by certain things in AI, and that's going to get worse. So I think when that happens, personally, I think they're going to have to make a stand on it. Go, look, you can't be led by these AI companies. Where's government sit in this? Because
I don't know how they'll police that. I think there's going to go too far, and these companies will have too much money.
It's the too fast. I hate to say it, but it's like the Bond villain. He's gone too fast. It's like he's already taken over the world. So how do you get it back? Because this is the thing, they give you a bit on the fun element and no, this helps, this supports you, it does your admin for you. Yeah, but while it's doing that, it's doing a lot of other stuff that you don't know about. And we're just the public, we're just told stuff. So, I'm not a conspiracy theorist by every day, but I do like it. It kind of it entertains me, as it were, to think that, there are decisions being made that we don't know about, and that's fine. Just hope it doesn't bother me too much.
There's definitely conspiracies. I saw the genius one. I think it was the Barbie trend, and I remember I wrote an article about it, but just very briefly because it was. I was watching all these people just suddenly jumping on, and I was seeing people on LinkedIn going, "Well, I don't use AI, but I wanted to jump onto the trend." And I was like, somebody in that ChatGPT world has gone, "This will be a great way to get loads of people to sign up. Let's create some kind of gimmick." And it's just rechurning the same old marketing thing that's happened for generations, for centuries. Just how do we rechurn this to get people to get somebody to sign up to something? And just suddenly you just saw so many people into it. I was like, our mailing list must have just exploded, the amount of people it's suddenly connected to. And then obviously it can learn.
Yeah, so these data centers went massive because of that. It was all those trends, was like, you have to do the image of you as a action thing, the Barbie one, you have to do, I can't remember some of them, there were 3 or 4.
One's is like Friends episodes, or
that was it.
You with your, you had to put in, it was you with 3 things. So tell it kind of what you like, what you do in your spare time, what you work as. Yeah. And it created that and it created that in a box. Yeah. And everyone's like, look at me. And I'm like, you've just given it so much information so quick.
Can you imagine? I mean, Jimmy, if you went to your customer and
knocked on your front door and went, can you tell me your name? What do you do in your hobbies? Like, all that sort of stuff. Like, what?
Shut the door. You know what I mean? And this is what I mean. This is what I don't understand. Like, why do we lock our doors anymore? Because you're giving everything to everyone. You know what I mean? It's weird, isn't it? Like,
we're so old and cynical.
We're so old and miserable. It's like thing about like, I remember the days where I used to stay out till the street lights come on, and my mum never locked the front door. It was fine, and nothing happened. Now it's like Fort Knox. It's like I've got Ring doorbells. They're giving data away as well. I mean, like I say, you just have to sort of think, right, I could scare myself to death. I'll never leave the house. Yeah. And even then, this is the other thing for me, Joel. Just because it's talking. So I did this weekend was an example where I didn't have anything planned with the kids. Kids wanted to have a chill weekend. That's fine, kids. I spent more money staying in than if I'd taken them out to a theme park, because you're on your phone going, she needs a new pair of those, he needs a pair of those, buy. I was like, how have I spent all this money? Whereas if I'd gone out for the day, I would have bought a lunch. I probably moaned about it because we got food in the house. Yeah. But it's like, because it's so accessible, and it's almost too accessible. And then when I've got it at home with the kids, they've got accessibility to it. So they start telling me stuff, and I go, you know what, if I appease this argument, I will buy you the pair of shoes. I didn't need to buy the pair of shoes. And that's what gets me. Do you know what I mean? So everyone's having to have that. The self-control element has gone through the roof, because you have to self-control yourself all the time with your time, how much data, how much screen time you have, how much you absorb, how much you believe, how much you don't believe. It's challenging. And then it goes back to the protecting the younger generation. It is that, because they're just data overloaded all the time, and not believing what's real, what's not real, how do they do this. And my kids, similar to yours, obviously appreciate yours a little bit older, they're sponges. They pick it all up. And I probably have more conversations this year with my 2 about what's not real and what's real. Because they'll watch something, is this real? No, this isn't real, that's not real, that's not real. because it's coming out faster and faster. And that's what scares me. It's what they don't believe.
Yeah, and I guess that's the thing. And there was a piece of, my wife's a psychologist by trade, so she was looking at different bits in terms of what they're exposed to. So when you think about it, when we grew up, obviously there was TV, there was radio, but if there was a war the other side of the world, for example, yes, we'd hear about it, but we might get snippets in the news for a couple of minutes. You might see it on a newspaper, there might be a conversation in school. But now you can literally see bombs happening live. You can see drones being launched, shot down. You can see buildings explode. You can see people, homes being destroyed, businesses being destroyed, and the whole atrocity that's sort of happening to the individuals as it's happening live, like it's in a film. You can just watch it on your phone for hours and hours and hours.
Absolutely.
So that impact on people in terms of, are we even capable of getting that much kind of information and that emotion that you then go through just watching our journey, and you naturally try and put yourself in that position to go, God, what if that happened to what if somebody started throwing bombs into Shrewsbury?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I mean, I'm all right, I've got a prison.
Yeah,
I'm fine.
I'll be here too.
I've absolutely. I've been following Trump for a while. I've made my bed. I've got 3 jails. I'm good.
You're all right with it now.
Exactly. It's going to come all good for me in the end. Everybody driving electric cars, including me, you're stuffed.
You're stuffed. Well, you're right. It is. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's the authenticity, what they believe, but also that a lot of the younger generation get desensitized to it. Desensitized to it. Because, like you said, I always think you fear one thing, but they're just it's part of the norm now, and that goes through the days when even computer games used to be a thing. I remember when I was growing up as a teenager, it was a big debate of like, should we be playing computer games or shoot 'em up games, because I'm going to go down the local supermarket and shoot a bunch of people. It's like, well, I'm not. I enjoyed playing James Bond, but I'm not going to go do that. But it was a big debate at the time.
It's like watching films, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think, was it, oh God, this will get dark super fast. But I think it was, I was at school at the time, and I think it was when Jamie Bolger got killed, and they were saying that the boys had like rented a film and watched a certain film, and then and it was all kind of pinned to that. And
I remember watching that Bowling for Columbine, and it was like all those things. It was like, well, they watched things and they went and did it. Like, okay, you've got to be influenced by somewhere. But like you were saying before, but the problem now is you're influenced as soon as you turn your phone on. It's like, you need to do this. And the fact that the way it works now, we all talk about something. I know leaving here now, my phone will be full of all the stuff we're talking about. My Facebook stream will be, oh, you've been talking about this, we're talking about this. Oh, have I really? Okay, and that's what concerns me, because it's where do you get the control back on that? Because, and that's probably goes back to what I say, I spent more money this weekend, because you're talking to your kids about things, and all of a sudden, here's an offer for that. Here's an offer for that. So then you start spending, and you think, wow, accessible, great for marketers. Absolutely.
It's
great way to work for money.
Yeah, I was chatting with Kieran, who does our social media marketing. We were talking about how where AI now in the advertising platform, so not the content and the copy creation, but actually in the delivery mechanism. I think it's better than the person.
Really?
I do. We were chatting about it, and Kieran, we first say he's not a specialist in pay-per-click advertising, nor in audience development, the manipulation, that the journeys through. He gets it all and understands it. He's really good at creative and putting the ideas together. And this campaign's going to work like that. And you've got people like that as well. But the days of hiring somebody for 30, 40, 50,000, I think, who's going to build you all your audiences, who's going to do all that and try. I think they're the people that are going to kind of go to a degree, or their job's going to be so heavily run by AI. And all of the social platforms are very much developing that journey, because it's that's where it's going.
No, I agree with you, because like I say, it's the thing like it's cost, isn't it? Like I say, as business owners, you look at it, when you're getting to that 20k mark and above, you think, well, that's working about 2k a month. Well, there's all this software out there that I can pay £500 a month, and that's a lot to that software. Some of them are tens of pounds a month, and they will do it, and they'll automate everything for you. But again, I always think, well, what is it giving me? And it goes to what you were saying before. It hasn't changed. Marketing hasn't changed for 50 years. It's just the tools to do it have changed, but the premise is exactly the same, and it works on emotion. So how am I going to get those people to build trust with the people I want to work with? So the how has changed, but the fundamentals haven't. But because there's so much available to us now, it just becomes that challenge of what's going to work for me. If we started a business, I would hate to start my business today. If I started my business today, I would fear it a little bit, because I just think, especially my industry, obviously in the creative, because it's just, I'm in a sea of people. When I started this company, I'm talking 18 years ago now, there was probably 3 companies doing what I did. And that was because it was all on DVDs, it was very slow, and you did one video every 5 years, and that was fine, that was what it is. But we very quickly saw, as soon as broadband took off, which that shows how long ago it was, it just became a completely different market. And now it's just every second of every day. And you think, God, yeah, where's it going to end? When are people going to start switching off? When do people need a break? Because the stats to us are telling us you should be posting 5 to 7 times a week. Well, that's every day.
Yeah.
But when does it get too much? When are people going to go, God, I'm bored of this now? Because there's only so much you can say and so much you can do. But I think, again, it just comes back to finding that sweet spot of what does your audience want to hear? What do they want to know? Where's that trust built? And you're there. But again, that's why I pick these people. Because as long as people know to come to you or they like to talk to me, that's all I want. I want the conversation. I just want you to talk to me. How you find me, yes, that's social media. I have to put myself out there and say, I'm here waiting. But once you're met me, as it were, then it's down to back to the people. Forget the tech. I want to put the phone down. I'm not going to sit in a meeting with you going, I'm just going to go on this one with you.
Yeah.
Phone goes away. It's you and me now. And that's what we're all trying to get back to. But I think a lot of people lost that. And I think also COVID didn't help with that because it alienated us because we're all like, can't be within 2 meters of each other. Can't see it. You know what I mean? We all worked from home.
I'm glad we did that still.
It's mad, isn't it?
What do you think of COVID? Is that
I think it was one of these where, don't get me wrong, nobody knew what was going on. So it's kind of like, we have to do something, that's fine. But then you did the whole, was it, help out to eat out?
Oh, eat out to help.
Yeah, well done. You know what I mean? Like, so you tell us what we can't do, then you stick us all in restaurants. Oh, and then we had another spike. It's like, do you want to maybe just let this thing play out? But I'm not an expert on it. What I don't like about it, going back to our conspiracy things, is I didn't like that all the money that was being made by making masks.
Oh,
this, you know what I mean? So it's like, what happened there? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was, and the hospitals, because we had a conversation early doors with the council because they looked at using the prison as one of the vaccination centres.
Did they really?
So yeah, they came in. We had a chat about it. Had long conversations about it, where they're going to use, and the money they were paying was high.
Really?
Like it was really, really good money. Similar to kind of what we get for production worlds. So I was like, whoa, this is interesting. And there is part of you that goes, oh, I wonder how long this is going to carry on for, because you've just had your entire business gutted. So for us, certainly, as for most businesses, just stop, instant stop, everything stopped, zero trade. And it was like, well, now what do we do, and how long does this go on for, and how do people survive? But yeah, I look back to it now, I just think, and again, I'll alienate the next batch of people. I'm good at this. Just alienate people. But it was just, people, obviously there was a lot of people that died, and COVID, had an impact on that. Yeah. It's kind of as much as other colds, other flus, but we had a member of staff, and she's not with us anymore. She's moved on, does something else. But I remember one of her close family members, one of her parents, was diagnosed with brain cancer as we were going into COVID. Right. And as the lockdown happened, they turned around to her and said, right, he's got like 5 months, basically. He's going to deteriorate very, very fast. Right. You've got a choice. You can put him into palliative care, into a hospice, but you can't come and see him. You have to do it through a window because of the COVID protocols. You just can't do it. Or you do palliative care at home, and we will walk you through it, and we will bring the drugs to you, and we will leave them outside the house, and you will administer. And they chose to do the latter because they wanted to be able to catch. And I think she had the worst time from anybody because she went through that whole journey at the same time, and it was just really, really rough. And I was like, "Wow, I can't believe in those things." But yeah, it was tough.
But like you say, it's like how deep and dark you go, because I think they say, I'm not sitting here saying that they did right or wrong. We did COVID how we did COVID. That's right. I think the thing that struck me was, you can go through a day getting stressed out, getting worried about things, planning, not working, all that. Everything I feel like that's a choice. I choose to do what I do. The one thing you can't choose is your health. Like when your body decides the time's up, the time is up. And it's that, like you say, when you hear stories about that, they're the hard-hitting ones. And I'm very lucky that in my industry, I've done a lot of really good documentary films, but about people. And it's when you meet the people, you go, God, I think I've got it tough. And then, no, I have not got it tough. I feel like I've been through hell. Yeah. No, I haven't. I haven't seen hell yet. I might be there in the future. And it's just that. And I think, like you say, you just sort of there are times I just go through things and I go, you know what, just take a breath, you know what I mean? Because we're lucky in a way that we choose to come in.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to be here. I don't have to be here. We choose to because we want to. Some people have to be here. And that's something that we're very blessed to do. And I do feel very, very blessed that I've been able to do that with the last 18 years of my life, was make choices to do things that I wanted to do. But I just take the breath when I get a bit stressed about things, going, it's not all that bad. You know, paying those bills ain't that stressful. Do you know what I mean?
I do. And it's stress is that silent killer, isn't it? There's that piece that there are certain things you can choose to how you get stressed and not stressed about. And certainly I know a few people that, you know, don't earn huge amounts of money, don't have that kind of level of freedom, but just don't have an awful lot of stress. They're very, very sort of happy and very content. And you go, it's a really nice thing to that.
It is that, isn't it? Find your sweet spot. I mean, that's the thing I find. I don't know whether you've had it, but like, especially me with the business, because it's all my decision. It can become challenging because you think, oh God, people's wages ride on this decision, or I've got to make a business decision whether this is going to work or not. And there are times where, God, I wish someone else would make that decision. I wish someone else would just say, look, just do this and it'll be fine. And then it goes back to the consultants. They go, no, sorry, I can't do that. Unless that person is someone I want to be, I don't want to talk to them. Do you know what I mean? And that is never going to find that person. But it's just about, sometimes you just have to take that step back and go, look, you're very lucky. Just remember that if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. You could stop at any moment. You can do this. So just enjoy the ride, because the ride might end tomorrow, but you don't want to end the ride going, oh, if only I'd just done that, or if only I'd just tried that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not too morbid, but there's always an end point, unfortunately. And the end point's not a nice one. So we've got to enjoy it when we get that point. But like I say, sometimes you forget that, and sometimes it's easy to think, well, you know, I think I've got it really bad. No, I haven't got it bad. I've got it really good.
Yeah, I agree. Even when we have it bad, we're still in a pretty well-developed country. We can still turn a tap on and water comes through, and, you know, we've still got electric, and yes, the costs are high.
Exactly.
But we can flick a switch and it happens.
Exactly. Here I am sitting with you when I walk in and go, God, the weather's a bit warm.
Yeah.
I live in a world where I can moan about how humid it is, you know what I mean? Some people are like, am I going to eat today? And it's like, I'm sitting there going, God, do I wear a t-shirt or a jumper? Yeah. I own both, and that's a lucky thing as well. So, but I'm not sitting there saying, like, you know, trying to change the world or anything like that, because it's just, it's a really different place.
Hey, I'll do it for you.
I'll do it for me. I know. ChatGPT will tell me what to wear.
It will. My daughter does that. She'll take photos of outfits, and she'll put them in ChatGPT and go, does this go together? Wow. Or I want to wear this top, what should I wear with it? And it will go, well, where are you going? Yeah. Who are you expecting to like? And I'm like, whoa. And then I find myself going, oh, should I do the same thing? Yeah. I'm like, no.
Well, you do that, don't you?
I'm not doing it. I just throw on whatever I grab and off I go, because I haven't got time in my day.
Well, I think that.
To consider what I'm going to wear.
And again, I'm prompting. I did the other day. Someone said to me, he said, travel agents are going to go out of business because AI will do it for you now. You put your itinerary in, what you want to do, he'll tell you everything. And it's true, it does. Yeah. But the amount of prompting I was trying to do for this, I mean, I didn't want to go, but I just thought I'd just do a trial trip. And I think kind of nice to just ring someone. You go, can I ring? Look, I want to do this. Leave it with me. I'll sort it for you.
I think personal servicing will actually grow, because it's exactly that. You get frustrated with the fact, I've still got to do this bit. I've got to do this bit. I've got to do this bit. And we do book a fair few holidays where we'll book the flights, we'll book the hotels, we'll book the activities, we'll book everything kind of separately, just because of the way we tend to travel. Yeah. But it is a headache. Yeah. And sometimes I do go, God, if I could just ring somebody and go, this is what I want to do, this is where I want to go, these are the things I want to experience, and they organise it. Yeah. And they exist. Yeah. You pay a huge premium for them, so
of course, there's a job, yeah.
But yeah, I think that they will use AI behind the scenes to make it work.
They do, and I think that's the point.
And you're right, they'll still have that conversation, because you want to have that conversation with somebody.
You do. You want the expertise. You know, I want someone that goes, I've been doing this for 20 years, I've booked thousands of holidays or thousands of trips, I know like the back of my hand, I've visited them myself, and I'm like, right, I trust you. If they won't use AI to book it, I don't mind. But I'll go back to them if I'm in Bora Bora going, hold on, I'm having a problem here because the plane's got cancelled, I'm ringing a person. Because you can't do that with AI. Nope. You know what I mean? So it's like, again, when the time of crisis comes, who do we reach for? I don't, you know, if I had an accident, I don't go on ChatGPT, like, this has just happened, I'll ring 999 or I'll ring someone I know. So there's always going to be that human element, and I think there is a little bit of that. People are scared a little bit of AI because of how quickly and fast it is going. And we are sort of going back to, do you want to have a chat about it? And it's like, yeah, because I don't trust that that's going to tell me what I want it to tell me.
Yeah.
But it's because we're so led by the social media stuff, where people say, oh no, it's dead easy, just do this, or just learn this. You think, yeah, but I can't fully involved with that.
I'll tell you this one, and I'll shut because I wanted to ask you about sort of where you're going next with filming videos, and also what your day-to-day looks like. But we had a work experience, so we have a lot of work experience kids in.
Yeah.
And I really drive that. I feel like as a business we should have lots of work experience kids in, but we should serve them really well, not just have them doing remedial jobs, actually give them projects. So we had this kid in the other day, he's 15, and I took him up to the Shropshire Football Club with me because we were having our annual meeting with our sponsorship.
Yeah.
So we did that. So he sat in the room, went through all the conversations with Steve and stuff. So that was all fine. Signed everything off, came back here. And I said, right, now what we're going to do is we're going to write an article about this. We're going to write a press release or an article that we're going to put on the website. And then we're going to put out on socials just to talk about, renewing the partnership.
Yeah.
So, okay, I said, right, here's my phone. Pressed record. I went, just talk to it. I'm got something to do for the next 8 to 10 minutes. So I'll be back sort of 10 minutes. Just talk to it. Talk about everything that's happened in the meeting this morning, everything that you've seen, everything that's happened, all the discussions, just talk about that, what you think of it, all the different perspectives. So he just did that. He's like, okay, so he's just chatting away. Came back, press stop, right, now we're going to grab the transcript, we're going to put it into ChatGPT, pre-built GPT, but this is what he's going to do. Press a button, and it just churns out this article. And I read it to him, and he went, cool, I write a good article, don't I? And I was like, you do write a very good article, well done, So churned it out, put it in, then I got it to do all the social posts for the different platforms. I did all of that. Which photos are best? Here's the photos, polished them up a little bit, done that. Right, now we need to go onto the website, showed him how to put it all into the website, published it live, put everything through Hootsuite, on social media, bang, go live at 6 o'clock. So he was like, what? Yeah. And I spoke to his parents the day after. I happened to sort of bump into them. And they turned around and said, oh my God, he was so impressed. He said he had enjoyed his week, but he was so impressed with that time he spent with you. He said, he couldn't believe the AI world, what it does. Yeah. Do they not do this at school? Yeah. Not allowed to touch it.
Really?
Yeah, not allowed to touch it. So where he's at school, they cannot touch it. And then, specifically, I was like, that's nuts. Because when he leaves school in, a year, 2, 3 years, whatever company he's going into, they are going to want him to be able to do that. That for us now. Yeah. Is kind of minimum level of kind of getting that world. Yeah.
It's like you said before, it's about the curriculum and stuff like that. Like I commend teachers' schools, and they do a fantastic job, the best they can. And it's a really different world from when I was at school, we were at school. I think they're doing brilliant stuff. And I know teachers, and they are fantastic. But God, I wish they'd teach them like economics at a young age, because kids don't understand money at a young age.
Interest rates, mortgage rates,
just get it. Just understand where the money goes, because my kids' pocket money spent. But it's like, God, kids, if you understand a little bit, not investing, but just putting money aside on a. No, I wish.
Do you teach your kids that through the business?
Yeah, I do.
They must pick that up.
Yeah, they do. And again, I'm lucky that I can talk to them about it, because I've got that understanding. Yeah. But I think day-to-day families, as it were, maybe don't have that access. But I think that is such a valuable tool. But like you said, even like with AI, they talk about protecting kids, cyber security, and all that sort of cyber safety and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, no, I get that, and you've got to talk to kids about that. But if you just go on about safety, it's just constantly putting fear into them. It should be more about, no, you embrace it. Like your guy, you can use it for this, and it works really well. But I get that, and I know that schools are really worried about homework not being done because there's ChatGPT penning in that. But I'm kind of going, yeah, but if they're going to do that when they're 16 and they've left you, what's wrong with them doing when they're 14 and learning with you? Do you know what I mean? It's like...
Yeah, and it was the same when we were in school, Pete, as I'm sure you will remember, because we're basically that exact same age, of calculators. Oh, couldn't take a calculator to the maths exam. Maths teachers go, well, you're not going to be able to think, well, you do carry a calculator in your pocket. Yeah. Now I'm going to wear it on my wrist. And I can also open my car and make phone calls with it.
And I can talk to it.
And see what my heart rate's doing all at the same time.
Yeah. That's such a great thing. You're right. It's like, I can't do this. Can't take Tipex in. What? Why not? It's like, I can't delete something. Yeah. What I mean? But that's what I mean. It's just not. It's just not to the real world. And I just think it's that. I mean, like I said, we have work experience people, and they're mostly great, but I don't judge them on anything but their personality anymore, because I can train you on anything, but it's your attitude that I will.
Yeah, it's that cultural piece.
Yeah, because they're just. I mean, we've had some really good ones, we've had some not so good ones, and I just see some of them just like, it's just an attitude problem, and I'm like, why do you feel like you're entitled to stuff? Why do you come out thinking that, no, you've done this, people have to give you stuff? Because that's something we should be telling young people from a very early age. If you don't work hard and go for it, it ain't coming to you.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't come to you, there's some 6 billion people on the planet who want it better than you. So,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like, how much do you want it? So,
That's it.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Did your parents run companies? Did they?
My dad did, yeah. So my dad, very different industry. So he's a civil engineer. So yeah, he was a designer, but he very much helped me.
Go on, sorry.
Yeah, no, go on.
I've got to take my shirt off.
Get him all in it. Thing is, you can't go off camera, say that, and then come back on. Because like, this is a completely different video. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say
Is this where we get the blur button out or something?
it's just start melting. I have to take the break and go out and sit in the jail and then come back.
Well, I was going to say, it's nice out there. Don't
It's lovely. It's always so cool. It's always so air-conned in sort of the rest of the jail. But yeah, not in here. Jordan likes it. Jordan likes it like Dubai, basically.
So we have a proper summer in this room.
Yeah. But sorry, you were saying about your dad, yeah?
No, my father, bless him, he's still with me. He ran he's a civil engineer, so he ran his own business for many a year. A lot of my childhood memories are of knowing him running his business, but it was just him.
Yeah.
So he ran it on his own, never wanted to hire anyone, wanted to keep it small, wanted to keep control of it. And I had very long, I still have very long conversations with him about business. And I remember telling him I wanted to hire someone, and we fell out big time because he said, no, you're going to lose control, you need this. And I remember I had to go to counselling just to get the confidence, because I thought, this is going to ruin the family, he's not going to talk to me at Christmas, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, Jesus, okay. And I took the leap. And I was lucky because I took the leap with a friend of mine. I explained to him at the time, I said, if I want to hire you, but if my family falls apart,
you're fired.
Your probation is basically whether my family stays with it. And I remember my dad coming to me later on going, look, you've got to do it your way now. Like, I've taken you to a point. And he was very hands-on with the business. I wanted him to be. And he's still supportive of it. But, he's obviously enjoying retirement now. But, being in a very different industry was quite a struggle because, having that understanding of business in different industries can be challenging. But the premise, the basic backbone of business was always there. And that was a good one for me because it was like a live learning exercise. So it was quite good. But
did you grow up that as a child? When you were young. Yeah,
exactly. I come from that sort of generation of like, my dad bought me a bike when I was 12 and I thought, a bike. He went, no, paper round. It was that. It was that. And then like I worked then all the way through. I was a pot washer from 14, glass collector at 16, barman at 18, then through. I love it though. I look back and God, I've had so many really heartwarming experiences doing those jobs that it gave me the experience to know kind of where I want to do and where I want to drive forward to do what I want to do. Yeah. But I always miss some of the easier jobs. It goes back to what we were saying before about happiness. It's like I was earning £3 an hour, but it was the best job in the world. I mean, when I was 14, glass collecting at the pub in town, it was the best experience I've ever had. Because I was open to this environment I was not used to, and chatting to adults and learning all those social skills and stuff like that. And you just don't. I didn't appreciate it at the time, but now I'm like, everyone needs to do that. So I was very, very lucky. But my parents were always great at backing me in it, always supportive of me doing it. They drove me, bless them, to all the jobs. But it's, I think without that, and that's obviously helped me with my children, because I always say to them, like, we've just got to get experience. We've just got to get some life experience in you, because it's the life experience that gets you through. You can make money, and I'm not saying about millions, but, you can find work. But it's your life experience I think you've got to really take on board, because, I don't... We're not gone are the days where you just sit and do one thing. You've got all these opportunities now. World's smaller, more things are accessible. Just try it all. And I love that. And again, it goes back to the curriculum. I wish schools would do that more. Yeah. They have the standard English, maths, science and all the rest of it. But I'm like, there's so many more experiences to do, But, I was lucky to travel. I travelled after college, as that sort of generation did. But again, it taught me a lot about living and travelling and myself and meeting people and all the rest of it. And it definitely made me different when I came back. But again, I always recommend that to people. I wish we could just try it. You don't have to go far, but just try it. Put yourself out of your comfort zone, just try it. But I think, again, the world's a very different place.
It is.
It's not as easy and free-flowing as it was, I feel like, when I was doing it.
It is. Just give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to go and pull myself out.
God bless you.
I was going to grab some water.
Don't worry, get
around. Just pause.
One moment I find is once I get hot, it's cooling down.
Cooling down's a nightmare, and I just sweat. It's just lovely.
Well, I just overthink it. That's my problem. Because when I get hot, I overthink it, and I get warmer and warmer because I'm thinking how hot I am.
It's
temperature spirals.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned counselling, because I go to counselling counselling. I used to get really, really bad anxiety.
Oh yeah.
I assume it's still running, George.
Yeah.
Cool. Really bad anxiety. Yeah, you get different triggers. It was awful at one point. I thought I was a lifeguard at the time. I can remember looking at it and thinking, sat in that chair going, I'm going to be a lifeguard for the rest of my life because I can't imagine going to a job interview. I was like, I could not go into a job interview and do that.
Right, yeah.
So I'm going to be a lifeguard for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I was 22 at the time.
Really?
And I was like full-blown panic attacks. I pass out all the time.
Wow.
And one of the things that always gets me is heat. What gets me is I start to get hot and then I can't cool down.
Yeah.
And it's just like, whoa. So just change T-shirts.
No, but it does help. And like I say, you've got to find these little mechanisms that do cool you down. Because like I say, there are ways of doing it. Don't be wrong. I remember I was at the we've got an awards night. Shropshire Business Awards on tomorrow night.
I'm coming too.
Are you coming as well?
I've been invited. I've been invited by our official sponsors. No, I've been invited by Marshall Harmony. So,
nice, okay.
So they do recruitment for us. Yeah, they do. Recently recruited a couple of our new staff.
Right.
And I was chatting to them, and Laura came on the podcast as well. And she was like, "Hey, do you want to come to the Shropshire Business Awards?" I'm like, free beer.
Beer.
I'm there. Yeah.
I'll see you there.
Yeah.
But I had it like so my example was, I think it was last year or the year before, and it was a really hot day, and you're talking black tie do.
Oh, you're a suit. Yeah.
That destroyed me. I remember we got in a taxi, the taxi had aircon, and I literally was like that in front of the bloke.
Yeah.
Come on, keep it cool.
Yeah.
And we got out, and you got 600 people on a route, and I just started feeling hot. And I remember saying to my team, I've got to get out of here. I've got to get out of here. And I think I went off to like the darkest area of the TIC centre and just stripped up. It was like,
I've done the same thing. I did it. I did it in Parliament once.
Did you really?
The one time I've been to Parliament, it sounds so great.
Yeah.
One time I went to Parliament, there was a networking thing. It's one of the reasons I hate networking events. Is because I just don't like those kind of awkward conversations at the start. And I can remember just getting hot and going, oh God, I need to get out of here. I think I went to the toilet and just having to strip off. Something wrong. I have to cool down.
It's a horrible feeling.
Awful, so bad.
Because you know it's more mind over matter as well. Because your mind will make you warm, like you said. Because I found that where it's like I got so hot, didn't really strip, took a few layers off, put them back on, went back, and I was fine for the rest of the night because my brain had then gone into thinking about the awards, talking to people, and all that. But when I was just stood there, my brain was going, you're getting hot, and I was just, this is getting warm, and I just couldn't.
And that was literally me like 5 minutes ago when I was like, I was just like, you're chatting around, I'm really interested about people, I'm really interested about people, full stop, but entrepreneurs that run businesses who have had parents that run businesses, because I'm really fascinated by this nature-nurture thing for entrepreneurs, and also the work ethic is really interesting, because my mum was ran her own company, so... And I always think I got my work ethic from her. My dad worked hard. Yes. I remember when I first started my company, a couple of years in, and my dad said, because first of all, he's like, don't do it. Really? But okay, you're going to do it. And then a couple of years in, he said, do you know what? I could never have done what you've done. He said, I just couldn't have done it. And I'm so proud of you. And I was like, well, I think that's one of the nicest things that my dad's. It's lots of nice things to me, but like, that's one of the nicest things. That compliment that you've kind of surpassed your parent, and as a parent, that's what you want. You want your child to do better than you. Absolutely. But so tomorrow, I always find it. I said this to my counsellor when he said, "Well, when it happens, what kind of things help you?" I was like, "Well, if I get called out," I said, if I have a couple of beers, if I have a couple of beers and fine, he went,
breaks it down.
Well, maybe you should have a couple of beers before you go places. And I was like, is my cousin say I could just drink before everything? It's just okay.
I have to do this.
Okay.
I know. But I think it's true. I mean, like you say, it's a distraction technique, isn't it? Because your brain is so powerful. And like you said, I do that. I mean, we've all had sleepless nights because your brain. And I remember someone saying to me, like, if you want to switch off, think of a bridge. Any bridge, and just look at the detail. Pick every brick, pick every bit of railing, whatever it is, because it's a distraction. And I remember it worked. It doesn't work all the time. I remember one night I woke up in a blind cold sweat. Can't remember what it was about. I'm sure it was finances or some guy. And I remember thinking, I can't go back. So this is going to ruin me now. It's 1 a.m. This is me done. And I remember lying there going, right, think of a bridge. Think of this. And I thought, God, you twerp, what are you doing? But I literally went back to sleep within 5 minutes. And it was because my brain just went, all right, I'll stop now. And it's just that. And I remember going on holidays. The brain's so powerful. I remember going on holidays with the family. I had to go on 2-week holidays. It took me a week to switch off and then a week to enjoy the holiday. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm trying to, when people say, it's my last day before my holiday, I'm getting everything done. Yeah, but we don't get it done because there's always something else, So it's like, how do you switch off? And I remember thinking when I started the business, if I'm not on all the time, the world's going to crumble. You know,
you'll fail.
Yeah, we'll fail because I am not on. So every time the phone went, and it took me a hell of a long time to go, look, the world keeps on spinning whether I'm there or not. I like to get involved, but I don't have to.
What's it like when you go on holiday? Can you switch off?
Yeah, because I've got kids. I mean, yeah, I can now. Absolutely, I can now. But that's tested to my team, similar to you. You know, when you've got people you trust to do the work, yeah, I needed that mirror of me to go, look, I know they can deal with anything that comes their way. But I also remember when I started hiring people, they were like, what do you want me to do? Because you do it all. It was like, how do I pass that over? Because I'm a control freak. So, and I probably still am. And we're having conversations even in the last sort of 24 hours with my team going, I really need to give some more responsibility away because otherwise you're never going to do anything. You know, why am I?
You can't grow your bottleneck.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly.
What does your day-to-day look like now?
So day-to-day now, it's really just changed. So I am very much in the forefront of client management. So and it's the bit I love. I love the chatting and talking, being creative, understanding all that. So my day-to-day now is very much dealing with all the new inquiries, people that are interested, people that aren't interested and want to talk to me. Yeah. Getting to know them, building relationships, and then also talking with our current clients, making sure everyone's taken care of, basically. And I've always said to my clients, I just want to be that safety net for you. I just want to be that little black book of information. If you need something, you'll think, I'll just ask Pete and see if he knows. And I've probably built the business on that because I've always said, look, I just want to be nice. And I think I've built it because I'm a nice person. I like to think that. But I'll always help. Even if I don't think I can do it, I will always try. And I'll always try and help. And I remember taking on jobs where they'll say, like, we want to do this splashy 3D animation or this. This was before I had animators. I was going, yeah, absolutely. And I was going, what the hell am I doing? Do you know what I mean? And some of the first animations we made were done on a shoestring. Literally, like, I will work all the hours to make it work, to prove a point. And then that money allowed me to invest and then grow the business. So we can do far more now as a company. But the fundamental is, I want to be that safety net. I want people to say, yeah, let's have a chat with you. We don't charge for a chat, of course we don't. So just come and have a chat with me and talk to me. And again, that's where I try and utilise social media and even AI. You know, AI does help sort of get me into a schedule. It helps me sort of think about things, gives me the knowledge I need. And again, that's something that we used to have to do. You know, get the highlighter out and find a book. I mean, now it's just tell me what I need to know, tell me what I need to know. Yeah. Something like a reference. But yeah, so my day-to-day is very much, I love it. I'm on the go all the time. I'm very much on the phone, talking to people, on the emails, making sure everyone's okay.
So you've got quite a lot in business development.
Yeah, I think I have. I mean, don't be wrong, I've hired a few BDMs over the time. I've hired marketing, and they're brilliant people. And this is what I always find, because I've had to let people go, and I don't hold it against them as people. I think the people were right, but in a business, the role can be so wrong because I would do it my way, and I would almost sympathise a bit because they would say, I can't do what you do, or you do it your way and I do it my way. And I go, yeah, but if it's not my way, it's my business. And I might get it wrong, but I almost want to fail on my own. You know, if I get it wrong, I'll learn from it. If you get it wrong, I can attack. I can go, look, what if I do this?
Yes.
So
interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that really resonates with what you say.
Is it? Yeah. So I feel like I've gone full circle because, you know, I started this as a documentary filmmaker. I wanted to be behind the camera, filming stuff, making stuff. I picked up a camera in 12 months. But I love what I do now because I get to talk about it and I get to talk about the creatives and knowing I'm backed by a team and go, don't worry about that, and the team will do that, but we're going to do this, this and this. I find that far more exhilarating. But I never thought I'd be there. I always, like you, when you were a lifeguard, I always thought I'm going to be a filmmaker to the day I stop. I'll learn all the cameras, I'll learn all the lenses, want to go to Hollywood, all this sort of stuff. And then probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, I went, no, that's not for me. That's quite hard work, that. You know what I mean? These are 4 a.m. starts and standing in the back of conference halls and doing this. Like, I prefer doing the strategy and the talking about things.
Yeah.
So, and that then allowed me to sort of change the business. And as I say, people have come and gone in the business, which allowed me to sort of get back to where I wanted to be, which was that strategy, talking, making sure everyone's okay. I like making sure people are okay.
Yeah.
And I like being a solutions guy.
That's the culture side of things, though.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. It's the safety thing, you know. It's like, I know we've all been through things, and I just think, look, are you okay? Everything all right? I can make that better for you, or I can do something and make that better for you. I know I haven't got every solution. I'm not sitting here and saying I can do that, but I like just being helpful. I like just being around. And it might annoy most people, you know what I mean? But that is who I am. And I think that's been a testament to the business, because I think the reputation's been built on, we can do it, we can help you. We won't always get it right, but we'll always do our best. And the intention's there, the will's there, the passion's definitely there. So come and have that chat, and some stay, some go, whatever it is.
It's integrity, isn't it?
Yeah.
As well with your clients.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of your clients who are repeat clients.
Yeah, we do. We're very, very lucky. Yeah, and again, I take that for granted, because they're brilliant. I always praise my clients, of course I do, but we work well together. We do that. And I've got clients that are literally still with me from day one. And that's massive.
That is impressive.
It is. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's probably.
I'm really jealous of that, because we don't have that kind of business in the same way.
Yeah,
so it's a bit
I
different.
get that, and I do get that.
I love that.
And I've probably found that recently, because I think at the start of the year we sort of did this sort of growth strategy. We thought, well, we'll go out and find some new clients.
Yeah.
And that's tough.
Yeah.
And then we started thinking, but we've got a really great pool of clients here who really, what we're about, and we do. But they're not maybe doing everything they need to do. And it wasn't that we were forcing it. It was just, think about this. And some have started doing other things that we can offer. Yeah. And that's just helped us with a little bit of growth. So that's what we want to be doing going forward. And you say, where do I want it going? I'd like to think it's just doing what the clients need of us. We have to go and learn about AI, or we have to learn about the latest software, or what people are doing. But we just want to be that safety net to our clients that go, we've heard we need to do this. Yeah, we got you. We know that. But it's not all that. It's a bit of that. This is what you need to be doing. Because we're not trying to backtrack too much, but with the AI stuff, we get a lot of people coming to us now going, right, I do nothing. I need a full strategy. I need to be a plan. And we go, whoa, no, you don't. You just need to start. Just start with something. Yeah. Even if it's get your phone out and start talking, but just start with something. Don't go full hog. Because we've had some pretty big clients with lots of money to spend, and we've had to say, look, I don't want to take your money, but I want your money, and I want your relationship to last a lot longer than a short burst campaign, because you'll only come back to me and say, well, that didn't work, what a waste of money. And I know that as a business owner, I am a stickler for marketing. Yeah. And I'm trying to sell to marketeers, you know what I mean? I'll say, oh, no, I'll spend a tenner on that. No, I'm not spend that. You know what I mean? And I'm there going, oh, budgets of thousands. It's like, okay, learn it, understand it, appreciate. And again, that's why we've got people in-house now that sort of do our own marketing, because we want to prove that point of I've got to learn from them, so that when I'm talking to the clients, I can say, no, I've done it, I know what we've done, and this is how it works. But as I say, I enjoy the fact that it never stands still. I enjoy that no day's the same. I enjoy that I've got to leave here now, go back, set up 3 time-lapse cameras, do another podcast for ourselves, and talk about things, and get 3 proposals, and it's like, no, I won't stop tonight, but I'm okay, because I've got my night to myself tonight. But tomorrow is a business awards, so I want to make sure I can switch off and do that. Otherwise, I'd be at the business awards on my phone going, I'll just send you that proposal.
Everyone will be in the room.
Don't get me wrong.
Just go find a bit of time.
You'll get a call from me. Followed up on that thing. But you're absolutely right.
Tomorrow's the best time to get me to sign a contract.
Exactly.
I mean, like, I've been invited by another company. Yeah. I'm still on the table.
Just drink.
They're providing drink.
Well, I know you're like 2 beers before you turn up.
Yeah, absolutely. Drink whiskey in the taxi.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. But I always find that with like the business awards, because people do that. I've had 2 of my clients say that recently. So, we'll catch up at the business awards. I said, well, will we? Because, you know what I mean? By the time I see you, you'll be steaming.
600 plus people as well, all the different tables.
I'm not going to find you. They don't look like they look in the normal, because everyone's wearing black tie. Yeah. So I keep saying, like, no, I'll see you and I'll wave. It'll be a wave.
You should rock up with contracts.
That's like,
you know, some catch up, right? Just sign
it for it. Just wave for that starter. Just have a signature on there. Don't look at the contents. Yeah. But that would be a joke you're running. Do you know what I mean? But I think it's an opportunity to, like you say, switch off. I like the business awards, because it's a time just to celebrate local business, local what we're doing. But it's just a time to switch off. I go with my team, we have a good night, I've got a few clients. And that's the stuff where you sit back going, oh yeah, it's nice to do this.
Do you have your own table, take your team?
We do, yeah.
Take any of your own teams?
So we've got a half and half. So we've got some of the team coming, some clients coming as well. Yeah. And like I say, it's just a time to switch off. And we're very lucky, we get involved with the awards, we support the awards. I do support the Chamber of Commerce. I mean, my first day in business, my first thing I did was went to a Chamber of Commerce breakfast meeting. I remember you saying about networking. I was sort of 22, sitting in a room thinking, what the hell have I done here? But I will always support the Chamber, because I feel that's always been that thing that got me going, was that networking, just get the word out. And they've always supported me to do that. And yeah, so as much as I agree, networking is tough. Doing that icebreaker and all that sort of stuff is hard, but it's definitely get you where you need to be.
I lost my techie.
I know it's gone.
Yeah, George.
I'm keeping the door to get some cool.
Oh, you are?
It's for you to just cools down really quite a lot.
All right, cool.
I'm surprised you're still wearing a hoodie, to be fair.
Oh, he's just...
Again, so
Oh, is that what it is? You're used to
Yeah, he's South African and an emo, so he just
as well, right? You don't really like it.
every guy.
Yeah, I don't write about kids, so I'm South African. Fine, okay.
Jordan doesn't use AI.
Did you not?
Well, you're not as keen on it, are you?
not generous in like.
Yeah.
Are you more still pen and paper and book?
So just do it myself.
Really? Yeah. So find the how do you find your knowledge?
Yeah.
Google.
Yes, I think you could argue that Google uses AI as well, and everything to.
That's the thing, because that's what we're seeing with search engines.
Yeah.
You know, the gold Google searches. You're not actually trying to compete for number one spot. You're competing for that paragraph where Gemini gets involved and goes, "You need to talk to these people."
Yeah. And that's a shift.
Weird. Yeah, I mean that is a shift. I mean we've had a few like that, but yeah, it's becoming more conversationalist.
We saw it with YouTube. It must have been 8 years ago, maybe. And I remember our video guy, funny, the guy that does our videos in the house. And he turned around and was like, right, I'm just going to start pumping content through YouTube. And I was like, okay. He goes, well, because it's owned by Google, Google will reference it.
Yeah.
He goes, so actually, if I just pump stuff in it, never mind competing over here on SEO, just pump stuff up into Google, into YouTube, and then Google will reference it really high.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's like, have we just hacked Google?
I know.
It's just like, it was just another way of doing it. It was just so many ways of getting into it.
The amount of people I say don't realise that YouTube's owned by Google. You know, it's like when I say it, really? Yeah, it's all linked. You know, you put onto one, the other one's talking to it, so you're all right. But you're right, it's just doing something. And to say, it's the beauty of YouTube, you can just pump loads of content onto it. Just go crazy.
The server space must be just nuts.
You imagine that data centre, can't you?
Oh, it's going to be a whole country.
Absolutely. But that's another one, obviously, with what I do, and obviously you do film as well, but you know, we talked about like, oh, if I'd have just known to invest in something, God, when those three lads set up YouTube, if I go, you know what, I'll give you a bit of money if you don't mind just, oh my God,
yeah, that's for sure. I think that's data centers is probably that next thing because they're going to have to be built. You know, they're going to have to be somewhere.
Absolutely.
So people are going to start building them, and I don't know if the UK will cotton on to that, or if it'll all be in other countries, America and.
Well, they need space. That's the problem, don't you?
America's they've got loads of space out in the sort of deserts and stuff like that. So they have got the space and capacity, but they've got to obviously self power them in somewhere. But yeah, so it's it'll be an interesting world. I think I get very excited by the by kind of what next.
Yeah.
And that's the bit is kind of what next.
Well, I love tech, and I do love. Yeah. I mean, most people do these, and it's tech everywhere. It's what's next. You know, what is coming?
Yeah.
What can change the world in a way? And don't get me wrong, I do like reading things about, like, you know, we can clean the oceans up, or you know, we can turn seawater to natural water and stuff like that. Because, you know, I'm a big believer that the big investments in water. I think water's starting to run out.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we don't drink tap water on the continent anymore.
Yeah.
And even over here now, again, the old fuddy-duddy side, I taste water differently now. You know, I'll only have it if it's in the fridge for a bit, because out the tap, too alkaline for me. So I'm in that conspiracy of like, oh, we're all running out of water. But I do think they're the things, the natural resources, you know what I mean? But so I do like the technology is being used for good, you know. The Amazon rainforest is actually being replanted a little bit, you know, all those little things. And you think, right, that's what I want the future to be, is we've hurt this planet, let's give it back a bit. And we are doing good things. But the tech is incredible what you can do now. And I just think it's going to be a very different world. I'm a big fan of Spielberg. I always liked him as a filmmaker as a young age, and I always like his films from the 90s, and his sort of golden era, I think. But he always had a bit of a visionary for future, and there's a lot of films I watch of his now from back in the 90s, like, oh, he got that. Yeah, he was talking about that then. And then my conspiracy goes, was he being told by someone that this is going to happen? Do you know what I mean? Like, even like the Back to the Future films and stuff, it's like, oh yeah, there's stuff in there. I mean, they got it wrong by a few tens of years, but there's stuff in there. They were getting pretty good. And you think, God, yeah, who's talking to someone there? Who's got the vision to see what the future's going to be like? Because we all want to know, what's it going to be like? What am I going to be like in 10 years' time? So, yeah, I enjoy that bit.
I always thought that was Star Trek. Looking at from Gene Rothenberg, who did sort of created Star Trek, and then how it came out, because the whole premise of it is nobody gets paid.
Yeah.
There is no money.
Yeah.
Everybody just does stuff for a better existence, for the benefit of humankind, or for the benefit of mankind, or for the benefit of everyone.
Yeah.
And we are, you hear about how things will change. You talk about AI and jobs, and you have then those conversations lean into sort of universal payments. People just being paid a figure, just to kind of live. Everyone getting it, and actually. And something before you know it's like, well, what will happen at that stage? So people will then just start thinking about doing stuff to kind of support each other. It's kind of sort of should hopefully naturally happen. And
I hope that, don't you? But the problem is, you live in a world now. It's you want to be the biggest and the best, quick as you can, get in, get out, monopolise it. And that's a problem. There's just too many greedy people out there. Do you know what I mean? Now, don't be wrong. I'm probably greedy in certain ways, but I think it's just what is, for me, the big one is what is success? Big conversation.
Yeah.
What is success? Because to one man is one, to one lady it's another, and just surviving can be success. But what is yours? Because that's what we all reach to, is that goal. You're successful. You've succeeded. Oh, you've got the medal or whatever it is. What then? Because again, you can hit success every day, but then what next? And then it's like, for me, I try to stay away from it, only because it's such a massive conversation. What's success? What's happiness? Where do you feel that you can stop? It's like retirement. People talk about retirement. My father was lucky to retire early, but he worked down hard for it. But when do you stop? I was talking to a financial advisor the other day, and he goes, well, you won't stop. You're a business owner, you won't stop. You'll just be a chairman, you'll stay on board, and you'll do things. So I said, yeah, but I want to stop. I want to get to a point and do other things. He said, well, what do you want to do? I said, well, I want to travel. Well, travel then. Like, you can still do what you do and travel. That's a good point, actually. And again, it goes back to everything's a choice.
Yeah.
If you want to do something, go and do it. But don't let other people tell you you're a success or not, because you'll only get influenced by other people for the rest of your life. But I'm not saying that's easy. That is easy for me to say and terrible for me to do, because I am influenced by people. People will say to me about things, and I fear that would be my biggest achievement in life, is to be able to switch off from the other influences and think, well, I'm happy with what I've got. And my parents are very good at that. My parents were in that generation before social media. They just like what they've got. Like, my dad drives the oldest Volvo car I know on the road, but he maintains it, he services it. Absolutely. It's a tank, you know what I mean? And I keep saying, you've got the money to buy a car. Great, go buy a car. Don't need to. It works, does everything you need. Yeah, I go out and get a leased car every 2 years, and he's like, why are you getting a new car? Your other car was fine. So yeah, it was leased. I've changed it now. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, more efficient. All this. He's like, I don't get it, and I'm like, come on, Dad. You deserve it. Go get a car. No, I don't need it. And it's very humbling, because you think, no, you're just happy with that. I mean, yeah, I take a lot from that. I don't act on it, unfortunately, and I should, because I feel there is that sense of, if you don't start just appreciating what you've got, you'll always be told to do something more. You'll always be told to buy the next thing, the next big kit or whatever it was. And sometimes you have to take a little bit of step back and go, look, is it necessary? I've done that with business. I went through about 2 years of invest in the latest kit, the latest software. It cost me thousands, completely bombed the business, really. But I thought that's what I needed to do. And then we got to the end of it, because, yeah, but the cameras are still now 2 years old, nothing changes, I can't keep doing it. But they're brilliant, they do exactly what we want them to do. So why do you have to invest into it more? It's like with mobile phones. I went through that generation when the Nokias were out. Every year the latest phone came out. Get the next one, get the next one. My phone now is 3-4 years old. Don't see any reason to change it.
But they're so good still, aren't they?
Well, they
That's
are.
That's the thing. 3-4 years old, they're still so good.
They are. And don't you say, and where's it going to go next? It's like with video quality. We hit 4K, now it's 6K, 8K, 12K. Yeah. Well, when do you stop? Because when the eye got enough information...
Yeah, you don't even notice the change. You don't notice it.
No. Yeah. And again, I remember when I went to college in town, and I remember my first IT lesson, and the teacher at the time, Eric, he stood up and he said, technology is going to change in the 2 years you're here. It will change dramatically. I said, yeah, whatever it is. No. He said, I've been places where the technology is in the palm of your hand. Again, it's before iPhone, and I've seen screens that roll out. I said, shut up. I said, you're mental. Like you got something wrong with the head. You know what I mean? And here it is. And I always remember it, because I think he was a visionary. Now I took the mick out of him at the time. I said, this guy's deluded. What's he talking about? You know what I mean? And now it's like, yeah, he saw it. And I think, yeah, so it opens my mind to, always dream. Like, always think it could be the next thing, because it's probably going to happen at some point. So why not dream it?
That's it. Because Do you see that quite a lot from chatting to other people, whether it's clients or other business owners or family members or friends, and people sort of turn around and go, "Oh, you're really successful. You've done really well there."
I've had to go through a really awful part of my life recently where I've been scrutinised on a lot of things personally and financially in the business.
Yeah.
And it really opened my eyes to the lack of understanding people have sometimes about running a business, because look and reality are very different things.
100%. Yeah.
And you can do it in life, like you say, you can drive the latest car but be debted to the eyeballs. I can have the best turnover but have no profit.
Yeah.
So there is a general thing of, again, going back to stop being influenced by what people say about you. You know your own circumstance, but live within your circumstance, live within your own means, because if you don't, if you're influenced to keep doing more, it'll just push you over the edge. And I think, again, it goes back to the idea of everything is a choice, but choose wisely, because, you know, you don't have to do it now. You don't have to do it straight away. You can just map it out, take your time, take a breath. But yeah, I think probably more recently for myself, with it being more personal as well as business, it just made me realise, not everyone has to get it. Not everyone has to understand it. That's okay. But don't let them scrutinise, don't let them influence you to then change yourself to almost appease them, because it's not their journey, it's not their business. But that can be tough, because it's a constant voice. And again, that's what social media drives us to be. If you just want to earn £1 million, Joel, just do this. Just follow my course. Pay me and I'll give you this. I get them every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they do. Sometimes when you're having a bit of a bad day, go, oh, maybe he's got something here. No, he hasn't. I'm no disrespect to them. It's marketing. But you've got to do it your way.
Because there's no easy win. They're all quick wins. It's like, I just do this. Follow these simple steps to success. So firstly, what is success?
Yes.
And secondly, if it was that easy, well, I think everyone would be doing it.
Exactly.
It's that thing where people do go into those worlds, and they do get loads of stuff. But it's building a business is one of the hardest things you ever do in life. Like just running one, starting one,
sustaining it. Just having it.
I've done tough.
I mean, nowhere on your scale, but I've gone from just me to 20 to 4 to 10 to 8. All over
You're not small.
Well, we're not.
You say to people, and again, it's perception, because people look at us. They go, "Oh, you got 3 prisons. You've got." But we've got a couple of mortgages. We've got one mortgage on a couple of the prisons. Well, we have. And I think we've got sort of 70-ish staff with the actors and stuff. But, last month I was looking at I saw the finances this morning for one of our companies, and we lost, I think it was 40 grand last month.
Really? Yeah.
And I'm just looking at it going, shit.
Yeah.
That's going to wipe out a good chunk of the cash that's in the bank, and it will do. And suddenly it's like, okay, well, what are we doing next month? And then my head goes to, okay, what's my job, and how do I impact this? And I don't know how it was for you. For me, the scary thing is I don't impact that anymore.
No, right. Yeah.
And that's the really scary bit, is that kind of lack of control.
Yeah, I'd struggle with that.
And having to trust other people to do it. And that's what we've got to, is I was saying the other week to someone that the days of us getting towards payroll, and I can remember it, a long time ago now, in fairness, but I can remember coming to payroll, and I think we needed 12 grand or something within 7 days. Oh my God, how are we going to do this? But I could jump on the phone, and I could get onto sales, and I could push clients. I could see, right, what's in the pipeline? What can I go over the line? Push. 5 days of really solid work, and we'd get there.
Yeah.
And then somebody once said to me, and I totally get this, that growing a business is just adding zeros. You're adding more people, so you're just adding, you haven't got one person anymore, you've got 10, you've got 10, you've got 100. Your payroll is no longer £10,000 a month, it's now £100,000. Your VAT is no longer 6,000, it's now 60,000. You're just adding zeros. The difference is that when you get to that, and I was like, that's exactly right. But now when I look at it, I go, oh God, we're 100 grand short of where we need to be for payroll in 7 days. I can't jump on the phone and get 100 grand like that, because we're not that style of business that has a client that we might go, oh cool, we get 60k from them.
Exactly.
Done. So I'm like, okay.
Don't be wrong. I mean, like I say, my scale's a lot smaller than that, but it is. I mean, I say to my team, worst day of the month's payday. It's great for you guys. I hate it, because I still manually pay everyone. So I manually go down and go, I pay you this, I pay you this. I do that because I see it as that I give them an income, they give me back the expertise, skills, everything I need.
Yeah.
And if we're mutual on that, it's great. But if I click that button, I'm aggrieved, I question.
I used to do that.
And I love it.
I used to do that every month. And
Yeah.
I do exactly the same thing. I look down, I go, okay, I'm happy paying that person.
Yeah.
I'm happy paying that person. Shouldn't be paying that
Yeah,
person.
exactly. Yeah.
But what I found was that then became a very emotional response for how I was managing those people.
Sure.
And sort of trying to go past it. I agree with you. Payday was always a painful day. I've had to spend a lot of time myself as well. You have to sort of self-reflecting on these things.
Yeah.
But I look at payday now as the best day because it's the day that everybody earns what they've earned. They get what they've done. And actually, I'm always really pleased when we go through payday, and we know well before we're going to make payroll. But I'm always pleased when we've done it because I'm going, it's really nice that we've gone through that, and when it's coming up and stuff.
Well, I like it because, like you say, once everyone's paid, you think I've got another month.
Yeah, and you look at what's in the bank now. Okay, what am I going to do? Yeah, absolutely.
My biggest weakness in business is I look at my cash flow forecast every day, and I should stop because, like you said, you can't do much about it. It'll come in, it'll come out, it'll go in, come out. But I look at every figure. If I just tweak that, will that help that? Just stop tweaking. I go from every day and I go, I should be doing this once a month. Just don't stop panicking about it, because that's where the sleepless nights creep in, because you think, if I could do something about it. But generally you can't do something about it instantly. It's like, I could start something today.
You can when it's small.
Exactly.
Once you get beyond, and I think that's a measure of success or achievement in itself. Once you can no longer affect that quickly, you've gone beyond. And Rod, who was here the other day, and he said it on the podcast himself, so I can say it, from the chairman of Shoot Hill, who Shoot Hill. And I was saying to him, hey, what's your day look like? He goes, well, I kind of get up, I'd have to be in the office early, so I get up, I'll have a look at the bank balance. Sometimes I'll do that before I go to the office, sometimes I'll do that in the office, sometimes I'll do that when I'm in bed. I was like, you look at there's a tour downstairs, Jordan, there's a tour in the execution downstairs. And this isn't soundproof, this studio. One in Scotland is.
Well, if it isn't, that's a ghost in there somewhere.
But so he was saying that, and I was like, you check your bank balance every day? He said, every day. I was like, but you're the chairman. So you have to check it every day. Like, whoa. And I was just like, and you're so right that, that is where so much stress as a business owner does sort of come from.
And I hate that, and that's the bit I hate, because you're right, I check my bank balance every day. I wake up, it's the first thing, the alarm goes off, first thing I do is straight out my banking out, have I got money? I don't know it's there, because I know unless it's been stolen. But
something's happened since the day before, 24 hours before.
That was another one. But no, you're right, and it does. And my accountant says, just stop checking every day. You don't need, if you're working and things are happening, money will come in. If you're sitting there twiddling your thumbs for a week and a half, nothing's happening. So stop doing that and do something else. And again, it's like you said, you can't maybe do it instantly now. It has to be, I'll start something today. I might not see the effect of that for a couple of weeks. So you do something now and move it forward. But if I'm sitting there just looking at the bank balance all the time, and did that, and I probably did that more when I had a bigger team, because they were more responsible for things going on, which kind of freaked me out. So now that those people have been able to move on and do their own thing and allowed me sort of to wedge myself back in, it's keeping me pleasantly distracted. You know what I mean? So I've only been in my sort of my own new role for the last 2 weeks, but I've enjoyed every second. And it's that whole, you see it, you're breathing it, you're feeling it. I go home at night tired, and I like that I'm tired because I've had a really good day. Whereas before that, I'd go home, when I won. I'd turn up when I won. But I'd also designed it that way. I also, when I started, about 5 years ago, no, probably 10 years ago, when my daughter was born, I shifted my focus. My accountant, every year, my accountant, very good accountant, she always asked me, what do you want from the next year? And she would break it down, do you want time or money? And I used to, for 10 years, I want time because I want to be with my children. I wanted to be that sort of stay-at-home parent, but I had to run the business. So I grew a team to allow me to come in when I want, go in when I want, do that. The problem with that, it added the stress, because I was giving responsibility to people, and I was like, you can't do it as good as me, but I'm all into that. And then circumstances now changed, which is allowing me to have more time in the business. So it's like, now I'm looking more at the money, because I can earn that myself, and I still get time with my children. As they get older, they're going to have their responsibilities.
They want less time with you.
They don't want to see me, you know what I mean? Like, I'm there, I'm the pocket money, do you know what I mean? And that's fine.
Dad's pay.
Exactly, and I do it. It's fine. I'll do what I need to be. But I feel very privileged that I've had the first 10 to 12 years of my kids' lives when I've been involved and I don't do that. And my kids do that. And I love being a dad. But yeah, now that I'm able to sort of step back in, it's really refreshing. And it's almost lessons learned from other people who have tried it, other people who've done things. I'm older, more moaning about things, more moaning about the world, but I feel I can get it a bit better. And I can then resonate that down to the team and also to our customers and clients and say, look, I have done this for a long time now. I'm not telling you I've got all the knowledge, but I have had the experience. And sometimes the experience is enough to people have that trust and that confidence of, okay, we'll talk to you about it, or at least have a conversation. And that's all I ever ask.
And you know, for me, that is, I'm really quite jealous of that. And it's funny because when people put this to success, they do. Outside, and I think out of what we do, and other business owners, people look at success and achievements. So I'm quite jealous of that because I did kind of the opposite way.
Sure.
And you know, I've missed birthdays on different occasions. I look back now and I'm like, I didn't need to miss that birthday, but at the time I thought I did. And my daughter, God, does she remember?
Does she?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. If it comes up, well, you missed my birthday, and she'll remember because it was a year she got a bike as well. So and I was there on FaceTime probably at the time, on video, and she got it, but I wasn't there. But I could have been.
Yeah.
So you know, you have those kind of things you sort of sacrifice.
Yeah.
And you know, they remember that. And there's a scary fact. I'll have to completely fact check it, but it's something like by the time your kids are 18 and move out.
Right.
You've already spent 80% of your time with them that you will over your entire life.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, that's a scary kind of thought that actually I've already spent 80% of the time with my kids.
Yeah.
And actually I've not been there for a good chunk of it because I've been doing this because that's kind of where I spent.
Well, I agree. I mean, I had that relationship with my father because my father worked his arse off.
Yeah.
But we didn't see him a lot.
Yeah.
And he's told me since he retired, he regrets those moments. You know what I mean? We were lucky; he did actually work from home, and I still didn't see him that much because he was always up in the spare room working away. But he was able to do what he wanted to do, and he was able to give us the life he wanted us to have, which is absolutely brilliant. He supported me throughout, and he still supports me today. And I've learned my family values through that and all the rest of it, and I wouldn't change it for the world. But like you said, there are times you go, I just wanted to be around for that, or I just wanted to do something else. And I do. I'm very lucky I've been able to do that. The business has suffered. You know, I've had problems in the business not being around because it was me to start. So when I became the team, it took me a long time for people to go, it's not me anymore, guys, it's all this team. And they go, but we want to work with you, Pete. We don't want to work with anyone else. It took me a long time to put the trust in that, no, you can trust my team. And we've got a nice balance there now. In fact, some of my clients don't want to talk to me at all. They want to deal with Bryce and he's all really good. And that's great. But it's what I wanted to model the business on, and what I wanted the business to give me was that. So again, like you say, what is that level of success? Success to me is that I've been to all my kids' birthday parties. I've managed to be around for my children. Yes, I have. But now that my daughter doesn't want me anymore, in the nicest possible way, I've got my 75%, 80% of my time. I can go back and focus on the business. And and I'm very blessed that I can do that. And I'm excited by that as well. And I'm not scared by the changes of AI or what's going to happen with our industry and stuff like that, because there'll always be a need. And I think that's what I really do take on board, is that as much as there is AI and all this stuff, never has the need been greater for what I do, and I just need to find that way of showing people how to utilize it. And that's what gives the company.
And you employ people, so you're responsible for people's livelihoods and how they're going to pay their bills and how their family and live and everything like that. So that responsibility, that in itself becomes an achievement, and therefore achievements, I guess, look at success. But I always say the same thing as you do, which is so interesting when you said it, was when someone goes, oh, you're so successful, I'm like, well, define success. Because there's lots of things that look great, and there's lots of things that are great. But there's lots of things that aren't, and there's lots of things they've missed. And sometimes when I say to people, I say, I'm only 32. They're like, what? And I'm like, that's not really. And they get something, you get that moment of, what? And I'm like,
Well, I always say that. How have you run your business for 18 years? I had hair when I started. That's how stressful it's been. You know what I mean? I don't blame it on anything else. The kids didn't lose my hair. I lost me because of the business. But you're right, it's about what you want it to be. And I think that's the thing. It's like, if people don't get it, or they go, well, you've been running a business for 18 years, Pete, why are you not successful? It's like, well, I am, because I've had a life. I've lived a good life. And I say, I'm very lucky with everything I've had, and I'm very blessed with that. So do I not think that's success? Absolutely, I feel that's success. Would things help? Yeah, maybe. But the one thing I think by the time I get to a point where I think I'm actually then successful, something else will happen. So don't rock the boat. Just focus on what you need, sort of thing. So but I do like the conversation of what is success. I do like discussing it with people, especially new people, because it's so different. And when you really try and break it down to what's success to you, and they'll go, oh, winning the lottery. It's like, really?
You have to do a lot.
I was going to say,
it's not a lot of
successful. That's just luck, isn't it?
Yeah.
But what is it that really enjoy what you do? And I've probably made people change their job sometimes. I'm not going to say I'm making everyone, but there's definitely a few conversations I've had with people, and I say, do you really like what you do? Well, not really, but it pays the bills. And I say, well, what do you really want to do then? Well, I really like doing this, but isn't there an opportunity for that? Well, not really, because I haven't really got the time or things like that. Right. And I hate saying it because it's a choice, and I can say it to somebody else and someone can easily throw it back to me and go, yeah, but Pete, you're the same. My bucket list location, Joel, where I want to visit is Bora Bora.
Yeah.
I love the name of it. I love the look of it. I want to go to it. I could go to it. I could do anything I want to get to it, but I haven't been yet. And I keep asking why. I put excuses of, well, I'll go when the kids are older and I can take them, or I'll go when I can leave the business alone, I'll retire. That'd be my response. Just go. Just, if you want to go, just go.
Yeah, when you still enjoy it and everything, and like...
Because you might not have that later on, and you don't know what's going to happen.
And what's going to be, for everybody, what's that trigger that pushes you over the line? For some people, it's health scares.
Yeah.
For some people, it's near-death experiences.
Absolutely.
For other people, it's it's big changes in life generally, isn't it? It's those
But
sorts
health,
of things.
stuff you can't control.
Health is a massive.
Like you said, you lose a family member and you go, Jesus Christ, what do you think was going to happen?
Yeah.
Like, we don't all survive, and that sounds horrible. But, it is. It's those things you go, oh, I've had that. I better do it now before it happens again. I always remember my nan, bless her, lovely lady, and she had friends in Canada. She used to go, and then she stopped going. I said, we got to go. She said, no, I'd always go. And then she got to an age where she couldn't go. And she always used to say, God, if I'd just gone one more time. God, if you do it one more time.
Yeah, you don't have those regrets.
Don't want those regrets, Joel. You want to do it. But it's also easy to say, yeah, but Bora Bora is 10 grand. And if I do that at the kids' fund, it's like I get questioned. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you're a video. I would say video production company. You're a multitude of things. You must be able to write up as a business. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to do some footage. I'm going to do a podcast with some over there.
Well, if I'm going to Bora Bora Hilton Hotel and say, look, I'll do you a free video. I mean, maybe I'm expensive, you know what I mean? But I think I pitched it because I want Bora Bora because it's probably one of the furthest away you can get. It's the other side. Everything's different. It's unspoilt to a degree. But yeah, it's just having those dreams and goals, you know what I mean? Trying things. But again, like I said, they don't have to be Bora Bora. It can just do something different, you know what I mean? Like try something different or whatever. But then without fear of, oh God, I've tried something and I've failed. Yeah. That's another one. Fear of failure. Oh, as a business owner, living with fear of failure.
Yeah, so
I don't think I've never met anyone that can't have a fear of failure. I mean, I live with that every day because I think, God, what am I going to do to fail now? If I make my son a bowl of cereal and he comes down and goes, I want a Cocoa Pops, not that. Wow, I failed. That's awful. But that's a mindset I'm trying to work with at the moment because it's like, there is no failure.
I have that every week when I play cricket and I bat. Twice a week, actually. I play Saturdays and Sundays. Yeah. Every week I have that. It's not even a fear of failure. It's an acceptance. It's coming.
Well, that's the thing.
It's coming
that's
quick.
What you've done. You've accepted it.
I've accepted
when I say that, I have to flip it.
Takes the pressure off.
It does. But again, what I always try to do is like, you don't fail, you learn. So like, you go out to bat, you think, I probably shouldn't have done a pull shot, I probably did an off drive, but next time I'll have a look at the ball. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, that ball swings all over. You're learning every day, and I think that's the same thing. That is something I'm doing because I for a long time had this fear of failure, and I still do today. But I definitely am working on it.
Is that a fear of failing for yourself, or is that the fear of having to turn around to other people and admit that you failed and then face up to it and kind of go, well, how do I tell people that?
It's the fear of failure.
So it's that perception.
And I think
it's that how other people will perceive it and take it.
It's the pressures I feel from other people, which I shouldn't have to feel, and then the fear of failure to say, oh yeah, it didn't work, or it didn't work out, or something like that, or can you help me because I needed some help. I'm not one to reach out. That typical typical bloke thing, never reaches out for help, never talks. Yeah. I'll do it myself. No, but if I just, no, I don't want your help, I'll do it. I'll do a control freak it. But it's like, but if I just asked for a little bit of help, we would have done it together. But yeah, there's definitely an element of that, and I think there's a male mentality in that we're also power through and don't feel about things. But yeah, the fear of failure is definitely driven about what I have to tell someone else, not what I have to do for myself. But that is something, unfortunately, that takes a long time to work through. You need a lot of people to tell you it's okay for you to get rid of that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because it is really tough, and I guess that is down to the individual. I totally get it. I have a slightly different mind shift on it. So but I understand it, and I think that you said it there, and one of the things I've done numerous times. I'm so going to get in trouble for this, mate. I'll see, I'm sure. But one of the things I did a while ago was every time we do a new project or something goes wrong, or we try a new event or a new experience, or I'm just trying something different and it goes wrong, I go, okay, well, we've learned it doesn't work. So that is part of the education budget. So let's put this into research. But I also tell myself, I go, well, this is me paying for my own tuition. So I didn't go to uni. So I count this as my university degree of learning. And then my wife says to me, she goes, well, my student loan was this, but yours is hundreds of thousands because you made so many mistakes. I'm like, but I'm kind of learning my way through it. So
well, I'm the same as I say. I see it like say an R&D fund.
Yes.
To get it wrong, it's R&D. Obviously, you never make money off R&D. R&D's learn. The problem is my R&D fund's also my holiday fund. So if I eat into that, I eat into my holidays. But you have to have it, because like you said, if you don't try new things, you'll never know. And like I say, you can't, there's no book you can buy and go, just follow these easy steps. And like we said, there's no easy way of doing things. You've got to do it your way. And again, your success is your own. The success is that you're surviving every day. And I think that if people just understood that, that'd be great. But again, that's why we look to our families and our friends just to understand it. They don't have to understand every nitty-gritty, but just appreciate that what we're doing. And that's why I do for my friends and family. I go, you do it your way, and I'll support you however I can. Yeah, I might have opinions on it, or I might have done it slightly differently, but you did it your way. And actually, I can learn off that as well. So stop scrutinising. And the problem is you have to get rid of the people that scrutinise. And I always struggle in the creative sector. I did it this week. We went for a big tender. We didn't win it, and we lost it on about 3%. There was a marking criteria on 3%. Yeah. That tore me apart, because I thought I could have done that. I could have got an extra 3% to win that. And then I felt I had to tell my team we hadn't won it. So the fear of failure was just going through me like a dagger. But all the team went, that's fine. We didn't need that job. We didn't need it. We're fine. We're busy. We don't need that work. It would have been nice, but we move on to the next one. And what was really nice was that they won a contract about 3 days later. It was like, that was it. It was like, we're not going to win them all. Can't impress everyone. Everyone's got to work, so everyone's got to work. We'll just do us, and we'll just do what he wants to do. And that's what comes down to.
Yeah, stay true to yourself. I think that's really important. That's something I hear, from pretty much everybody we speak to here. They have that same, we stay true to us. How are you on the other side of that, when people pay you compliments in terms of like, you've done it really well? Oh dear.
I hate it, Joel. Yeah. I'm the guy that goes, we want to put you up for an award. Well, I'll go, but I'll sit at the back of the room. I'm not going on stage. Don't tell me I'm great. I hate it. I remember we were lucky. We won a business award a long time ago now, 6 years ago. But best small business in Shropshire. And then actually screaming the high hills. That's like, we're good. We're all right. But don't worry about it. And like you say, people go, you've done some really nice stuff. No, I don't want to be told I'm doing a good thing. I like doing nice things. It makes me feel good. But I don't want someone to go, thanks for that donation. Thanks for that support, sponsorship. I love sponsoring local teams. But don't bring me out and go, here he is. Because I hate that. Hate it.
Do you find that when people give you those kind of compliments, they sort of put you out there, and they're talking about again bad success. Do you look at that as kind of like, but I've not quite achieved what I want to? Or do you feel it's because you haven't got somewhere that you're trying to get to, or is it just because you just don't like to be in the limelight?
I think it's a little bit trying to be in the limelight. I think you're right. I think there's an element of like, what is success, definitely, because sometimes you hit milestones and you think, I've hit that milestone, that's great, what next? And that's why when the financer guy said to me, he says, well, you'll never stop, you always find another way. Yeah. Well, if I'm never going to stop, when's success next? If I don't stop, my whole point of stopping was that I've hit a point that I'm happy to stop. But I agree that you never stop learning and you can always do better, so why do it? And that's why I enjoy the journey rather than try and keep getting to the goal. Because if you keep getting to the end point, what do you do then? Yeah, it's like, I've got the gold medal for being the fastest man, but what do I do now? Well, they still run. They still try and get faster. They try and beat the time that they've beat, and they don't stop and go, well, I've done it. Because I think it's all about the journey. So, I think there's a little bit of, I don't like being praised. I like when clients give us positive feedback at all. Yeah. I prefer it when they give
your team.
Exactly. I can do that. And that's probably why I like the role I'm in now, because it's not selling me, it's selling me and my team. Mm-hmm. And I like selling the team, and I like nurturing the team to know that they are good at what they do and they can do a great job. So, it keeps me out of the way. So I quite like that, really. And I can push it on to the kids as well. I've got kids. It's all way, proud. So it completely deflects away from me. That's right.
Yeah, it's just funny how kids perceive the businesses and kind of how they grow up in it, so they have a slightly different. They do have I think kids that grow up with parents that run companies, they're entrepreneurs, they grow and they build business, have a very, very different type of upbringing to children that don't, which is why it's always really interesting for me when people sort of sit here who've had parents that run companies compared to those that don't. And you do see generally, I think you see a different sort of trajectory and how they look at stuff and things.
But I find that interesting, Joe, because like you say my father worked really hard, absolute hardest man, easy for me to say, biased, hardest man, but ran it on his own, so he had to work every day, every minute was him. And he did, he put that into me, work hard, if you get a job, get it. Whereas my kids probably see me, but Dad, you're always around. I was like, yeah, I was always around, but I put the energy into people to help me run the business while I wasn't there. But I would understand their perception is, but you're always around. I was like, yeah, I was, but it was hard work. And I probably didn't make the money I wanted to make because I was putting it into other things. But that's fine because I invested in the time rather than the money. And that's the lesson I want the children to understand, or my children to understand, is it can be, you got a choice. You can go and get the money, go get it. But will it bring you happiness?
Yeah.
And what are you actually doing it for? Or you can have time. Time you can't buy. You know, it's taken away from you every minute of every day. It's taken away. Choice. And find a balance. I think if you can find the balance, do that. But I want them to understand each of them, because I think if you go down too far, one it's the wrong way. If you go down one, you have to have that balance. But yeah, I do that. I know people that work really, really hard. They work absolutely blindingly hard, earn a lot of money, but I don't think they're whole happy. I think their happiness is lost because their goals are too far away. You know what I mean? And they're trying to get.
It's tricky, and I always relate entrepreneurs and business owners back to professional athletes or professional musicians. People are really trying to kind of get that kind of little edge, but it is difficult, isn't it? And everyone has a slightly different approach. I could talk for hours about whether entrepreneurs are made or born, and that sort of thing, and how that works. But we did tomorrow for the business awards. Are you guys up for an award? Or
No, we're just going. Because obviously we're patron of the chamber, so we get a table. We're going to go and enjoy ourselves. Yeah, no, I like it. We're actually not allowed to go into them, unfortunately, because we do actually supply them. We do the videos.
Oh, okay, I see.
The awards.
Yeah.
But I don't mind. I mean, I just enjoy being there. Like I said, I don't have the limelight anyway, so we just get like you, have a drink, enjoy it.
No, I quite like the limelight. I love the limelight. I'm so fickle as somebody. I'm awful at taking compliments.
Really?
People say to me, "Oh, you've achieved so much." I'm like, "No, I haven't."
Really?
Still trying to build these bloody hotels.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do this for years. No, I haven't achieved it. No, I haven't got that. Hold on. So I hate compliments. I take them really badly.
Right.
But I love being in the limelight.
Do you?
Yeah, happy days. Yeah, no worries at all. Yeah.
Well, we'll get you more for the limelight.
I'll have a few beers. I'll be on the stage.
You'll be on the stage. There we go.
Marshall Harmony presenting an award. Hey.
I was going to say, well, I'll hear from you.
Oh, they're going to so regret inviting me.
Oh, really?
Oh, absolutely.
You're in the front. Do you even know where you sit now? Or you're not now?
We're on table 9.
Oh, wow. You're at the front.
I assume it's quite close.
Oh, yeah. I can find it. Yeah.
So,
It'll be a good night. I mean, I like it because it is a chance to meet everyone in a social arena as well, because I feel that's another big thing. Business happens, but let's just remember we're people and we like to have hobbies and outside of work and just chill.
I went to one in Bath not that long ago for the Somerset Business Awards, and we put forward one of our team as like the unsung hero, which is one that's not. Is judged differently, and they pull them all up on the stage, and they sort of have all nominations, and then they just announce on the night who's won it, so nobody knows. And we put up a lady who's been with us for I can't remember how many years. She's just retired, in fairness. And this is her second career. And she won it. Really? And she was just like, "Oh my God, this is amazing!" She brought her husband to the awards and everything. We just sat there. It was great. It was brilliant. I was so pleased for her, and she worked so hard. So for her to get that's the biggest achievement for me.
That's the thing I like. Seeing other people.
Yeah,
that's exactly that.
So, but it'd
be fun for us. I mean, like I said, we can sit there and take the limelight. I've always said that. People that have left me off my team, I said, look. All I say, don't forget me when you're the big one. When you're on stage getting awards, just always remember it started here. You came here, we did a few years, now you've moved on. In fact, one of my team did that. He was having a really hard time with the project for us, but he does editing outside on his own accord, and he wants to be a filmmaker. And a film he edited just won the Sony Film Award in Hollywood for the up-and-coming fictional piece. It's an amazing film they made. They made it in Birmingham, but it went all the way to America, and it's won. And I just thought, God, how lucky am I that I've employed a guy who's just edited a Sony Films award-winning production. And he works for me 9 to 5 on a Monday. So I literally said to him, well, you can tell that client you're an award winner now. Tell them to put it again. They're telling you how to edit it.
Straight on the set.
It was.
Straight on some video website. Award-winning. Award-winning creators.
In fact, one of our freelancers, he ended up working on the Wrexham documentary. He's an Emmy award-winning DOP now. And I use that and go, do you know what? If you want a DOP, Emmy award-winning, I'll get
Absolutely.
I know. I'll call him up. I'll get him here. He's got his awards in his toilet. I know exactly where it is.
Downstairs in the toilet. Downstairs in the classic place.
But I think that is great. But I remember him when he was starting out with a little Poxy 500 CD, Canon rubbish thing, telling me he knew it all, and I knew you don't, but you're learning, and you don't, and he did. He built himself up. And I think that's brilliant. That is. I remember him saying. Never forget the day I said, "Oh, you like football? I hate football. I'm a rugby man." I said, "Right." And now he's ended up at Wrexham. It's like, what's happened there then? I'm like, always reminded. I said, do you remember that time you said you didn't like football? Well, you love it now. It's got you a pretty good career. So, But no, I like watching people do things. I like seeing people do great things. I like being a part of that. And like I say, I put probably a lot of my effort into the children now because that's their chance now. Do something good. And I like that about being an entrepreneur or owning a business because our connections are so vast. I've always said, look, if you want to try anything, I've probably got a contact where I can get you in some way. And that is gold.